Hello and welcome to the Christmas show. Over the next few days I'll be playing through the Two Fat Lardies Storming the Citadel Pint-Sized campaign, which is based on the Grossdeutchsland attack at Kursk. The campaign has 6 rungs as listed here. This is Hold the Line, Betovo. The German drive through Betovo continues. The last of the Soviet defenders will fight for the last man. This is a delaying action. The Soviet platoon is ever dwindling. They have Anatoly Bogov, the sergeant in charge of the platoon. Platoon commander was killed in one of the earlier scenarios. And 2 acting sergeants for 2 and 3 sections, the latter of which is wounded. For support, it seems the Soviets are putting effort elsewhere because I rolled very poorly and all they got was one measly entrenchment. 1 platoon for the Germans with Lieutenant Hermann Hassler as the commander is unscathed. For support they have 1 platoon sergeant and a MG42 tripod mounted. The Germans will be attacking from the right hand side of the table as we look towards the left where the defensive position from the Soviets will be. The defenders have 3 jump off points as indicated by the red crosses here. The Germans have 3 jump-off points as indicated by the black crosses here. The objective for the Germans is to capture one of the jump-off points of the Soviets and hold until the end of the turn. The German force morale is on 11, but surprisingly the Soviets remain on 10, still very high, so they obviously think they can still do some damage and defend Betovo against the Wehrmacht. I suspect that's going to be wishful thinking. Okay, this is looking from the German perspective on the right hand side into Betovo. I do always forget to do a plan for the attack. It kind of comes a little bit ad hoc, but I think with this they've got a good opportunity to go right flanking, although there's a lot of empty space there which they've got to cross. Going down the road, it's fairly covered, and again the left hand side they could do a left flanking here. The Soviets are going to be outnumbered as per usual, so it should be relatively straightforward unless they get some lucky rolls. Right, Germans, off they go. It's a double phase, it's a chain of command point, and it's 224. Okay, on one of the twos, one of the sections will deploy into this rough ground here. They can't go in Overwatch because they've just been deployed with the 2, but they're ready to move down the left flank. Right, I'm going to take advantage of this double phase, so another section is going to deploy here, and the platoon sergeant will just drop in behind them. As with previous rounds, I'm using a lot of the additional dice early. Take advantage of them. That's another 3 chain of command points. 223. Okay, on a 2, that section in that sort of field area, it's just going to move forward to the next hedge. Go 7. On the other 2, this section will do exactly the same, come up to this hedge line. They go 7. Also very nicely up to that feature. Well, I think I'm going to take advantage of these 2 jump off points because they're so far up the table. Well, not that far, but certainly further than the other one. So I'm going to use this one again on the 3, and one of the sections has come over this side. So they're out of line of sight, being behind this fence line, hopefully from anything coming from the Soviet side. So that's 3 sections and the platoon sergeant deployed, and the Soviets are still in bed. Ah, right, double phase for the Soviets, 1-1-3. Right, one of the sections is going to deploy here in the entrenchment, and they will open fire at that German section just the right hand side of the White House. Okay, it's 6 dice for each LMG and 2 riflemen, so it's a total of 14 dice hitting on 5s and 6s because of the range. That's 3 hits on each team. Okay, left hand team is light cover, so that's 2 shock. Right hand team, 1 shock, 2 kill. Is the kill on the junior leader? No. And on the 3, I'm going to get the other double LMG section just popping up to this fence line here. And they will also fire on that section. Right, they're hitting on a 4.56 because it is short range or close range. Same number of dice, 14. And that looks a pretty good hit. 4 hits on each team. So the right hand team this time. Ooh, they're taking a hammering. 1 shock, 2 kill. So up to 2 shock there, 2 kill. I'll do the junior leader in a minute. Left hand team, 2 shock, 1 kill. So up to 4 shock. So that's a total of 3 kill. Is it on the junior leader? No, it's not. Right, so it's one of them, and that gun team's gone. So that, and that shot goes with them. So that is a team wiped out, 1, which is no effect. Right, so it's doing well there. Their follow-on phase is 2 chain of commands, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's going to be more of the same, I think. Right, first of all, on the 4, the sergeant commander, platoon commander, is going to deploy here and get this section to fire. Hitting on a 5.6. Not quite so good this time. But it's all on one team. Right. That is 3 shock. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with 7. They are pinned. Therefore, I think on the 2, this section will fire at the left-hand German section as we look, because they're going to be in hard cover now. 4, 5, 6 to hit. Wow. Okay, so that's 4 hits on each team. Right hand team is 1 kill. Left hand team is 1 shock. Is the kill on the junior leader? No, it's not. So I think on the 3 I can get the final Soviet section to deploy at the edge of this wood line. Not wood line, just a bunch of trees really. And they should also be able to fire. So there they are, they're nestling in the edge of those trees there, and they're going to fire directly across to that German section there, or only team what's left, the ones that are in, the ones that are pinned. Now they've only got 11, 5 riflemen and 1 gun, hitting on a 4.56 though. So that's not bad. So they're now in hard cover. So it's 5 shock, 6 kill. Ooh, that's another 2 kill. Right, is one of the kills on the junior leader? It's not. So that's, well, they might be broken. Right, so it's 2, 3 with 7 shock. They go in. 6 plus 2 dice, 6. So that is 9, 15. So there they are, they've ran back past the platoon sergeant, hurdled that fence, and now they're cowering away. As bad things happen, 1, and bizarrely, again, that is no effect. Right, German's been caught out a little bit here. 1 chain of command, 4 2s and a 3. I can do a fair bit with that, I think. Right, well, I'll take that point of shock off with the 3, and we'll get this section to fire. They'll be firing at the left-hand Soviet section here, just behind the fence in light cover. It's going to 19 dice, 8 each for the guns, and we have 3 rifle in there, hitting on 4, 5, 6. That's pretty devastating. That's the effect, light cover. That's 3 kill and 4 shock. That's 2 definitely. Is a kill on the junior leader. Yes, it is. What's happened to him? He is knocked out. And actually, that is the wounded leader anyway. Should have said that at the beginning. So, the second wound, he's actually not knocked out, he's dead. Bad things happen. 5 is minus 2 points, and the Soviets are on 8 force morale. Right, on the 4, the platoon sergeant is just going to hop over here. I'm going to bother rolling for that. And he's going to take off 2 points of shock here. So they're still pinned. And on the other 2 twos, the platoon commander is going to deploy. And he will take off 3 points of shock. So they're down to 2. They are now not pinned, and we've now got a team back in action. Can't afford to just have 2 sections charging up against this Soviet defence. Alright, Russian phase. That is 3 3s, 2 4s. Okay, so the problem with the Soviets in that entrenchment now is they don't have any targets. It's a narrow field of fire, and perhaps this is what the Germans are waiting for. They can go and flank that. But anyway, so they can't fire. So I think what I might have to do is move the sergeant, the platoon commander, over to the left-hand section by the fence as we look. So he will go 3 dice 6. He goes 7. So the platoon commander is just in command range, and we'll tell them to engage this section. 10 dice, hitting on a 4, 5, 6. That's all they've got left. No riflemen, and they're suffering from this shock. However, that's not bad. It's 3 dice on each team. Right, left-hand team, 1 shock. Right-hand team, nothing. Oh, disaster. Right, the section here will go into Overwatch. We've got no targets to hit at the moment. I think actually the ones in the trench will do that as well, in the entrenchment. Not a lot else the Soviets can do. Right, German phase. 1 chain of command. They have a full dice now. 1, 2, or 2 ones, 2 and a 4. Right, on a 1, the tripod mounted MG42 is just going to deploy here, poking around the corner. So I'm going to give them light cover here. And they'll be shooting around the barn straight up into that. In fact, I think they'll go for the tree line, not the entrenchment. There's that other section there. That's what they're going to go for, because they'll be in soft cover. And it's just in close range for the tripod. So it's 4, 5, 6 to hit. That is 4 hits, soft cover. And that is 1 shock only. Of course, the trouble with doing that is both the sections, the one in the entrenchment and the one in the trees, are on Overwatch, so they will open fire on the gun. So the section in the trees being on 5, 6, 3 hits. Like I say, I'm going to give them light cover because they're just peeking around. No effect. Lucky. And 14 for the other section in the entrenchment. Again, hitting on 5, 6. 5 hits. And that is 3 shock. So I think they were quite lucky there. Got away with it. But at least it's deployed, and it's now putting some rounds down. Right, on a 4, platoon sergeant, take off 2 points of shock and tell this team to get moving, and they will probably hop over here, I think. They just about do. So they'll now be activating on a 1 or potentially 3 with the junior leader. Okay, on a 3 then, or 1 and 2 added together, this section will activate, or junior leader, and take the point of shock off. Getting on 4, 5, 6. Could be devastating. It is 4, 5 shock, 6 kill. So, well, look at that. It's 7 shock and 1 kill. Right, so that's 1 casualty there. 3 with 11, so they're going to rout. That's 2 dice, 6 plus 6, so that is 5, 11. Things happen. 4, that's minus 2 points. Soviets are on 6. It is the Soviet phase. 6 does nothing. 5, 1 chain of command, 3, 4, 4. Well, firstly, I think this lot unfortunately have had it. I could get the sergeant to go back and start taking some shock off, but he's only got 2 command initiatives. They've got way too much shock to bother with at the moment, so I think I'm going to have to forget about them. So it looks like the sergeant is going to get back into the entrenchment, which, ooh, I think he just about sneaks in on that right-hand corner. And he'll tell that section to fire at the MMG. Needs 5s and 6s to hit. Not too bad. Soft cover. Ooh, just 1 shock. And I guess on the 3, the other section here, generally will take that point of shock off and they will fire at the MMG as well. 5, 6 to hit. Sorry, 5, 6 to hit. That's 4. It's 4, 5 shock, 6 kill. So it's 3 points of shock. Okay, so that's 5 operators with 7 shock. They're pinned. Right, I think there's a bit of inevitability here with the German attack, but we'll still push on, see what we got. 2, 3, 3, 4. Right, platoon sergeant. He's running around the battlefield like a mad thing, and he'll take off 2 points of shock. Unpinned. Platoon commander. He'll also move over, take off 1 point of shock, and get the gun to fire at the Soviets in the tree line. 8 dice, hitting on a 4, 5, 6. 3 hits. 4, 5 shock, 6 kill. 1 shock, 1 kill. Is the kill on the junior leader? No. Right, on the 2, this section will move up to the fence line. Which they do, just about. And on a 3, this section here is going to hop over this hedge and go across this field, aiming for the fence line there. They've got plenty of line of sight cover, apart from there, the section in the woods. So they're going to take a gamble there. They go 6. Alright, Soviet phase, 2 chain of commands. 1, 3, 4. Okay, because they're in the open and they're likely to get enfilade fire at the moment, these guys are going to go again. They're going to sprint and take a point of shock. They go 10, and now they are out of line of sight.
I can just see there through the trees is the other section, and they've lost them now. So that was a fantastic move by the section there. So I think really all the Soviets can do on the 4, the sergeant here will activate this section. They will again fire at the MMG. 14 dice, hitting on a 5-6. Well, that's pretty poor. So it's 4-5 shock, 6 kill, 1 shock. And on the 3, the other section here will fire at the Germans here. 10 dice, hitting on a 4-5-6. That's better. Alright, on the right hand section, team rather, 2 shock. Left hand team, nothing. Ooh, poor shooting. Alright, German phase. Ooh, 3 chain of commands and 2 1s. Right, it's not a brilliant roll, to be honest, so I think I'm going to go with this section here on 2 1s added together. I could fire the gun and move the decimated other section, which is just a team at the moment, but to be honest, these guys are the biggest threat. I'm trying to get them to hook round in the rear of the Soviets. So I think they just about get over that fence. Oh, they probably don't actually, because they've got a point of shock. Right, they'll get up to the fence. Okay. Soviet phase, 6 does nothing, 3, 3, 3, 4. Right, but they can't do a lot. So the section in the entrenchment will fire at the MMG again. Hitting on 5s and 6s. 1 hit. And the damage is 1 shock. So up to 6. So they're well, they're probably not pinned because they've got all the commanders around them as well, but they're very close to it. And then the section in the wood line will hit this section here. 10 dice. 4, 5, 6. Alright, 2 on them, 3 on them. I'll have 3 on this side actually. I think no, if you're in cover you can choose it yourself, so that is 2 shock. Left hand team is 3 shock. Right, German phase, 1 chain of command, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, right, on a 3, 1 point of shock off. Cross that fence, they do. Just because they've still got a point of shock for that team, so they want to stay together. On the 2, the section behind the fence will fire. They're going to lose 3 dice because of the shock there. 16 dice, hitting on 4, 5, 6. And it is light cover, so it is 1 shock, 1 kill. Is the kill on the junior leader? Oh, it is. What's happened to him? He is knocked out. As a bad thing's happened, 4. Soviets are on 5 at force morale. Right, on the 4, the platoon sergeant will take off 3 points of shock. They're down to 3. Another 4, the platoon commander will take off 2 points of shock and get them to fire. And they will also fire on that section in the wood line. 10 dice, 4, 5, 6. 5 hits. Just 1 shock. Oh, I think the Soviets were lucky with that. Could have been a lot worse. Right, Soviet phase. 3 2s and a 3. 6 does nothing. Well, to be honest, I think that is it for the Soviets. They've probably done as much as they could have done in that. We've got a section at the rear. They've broken, taken heavy casualties. The 2 sections in the middle didn't do too bad, actually, but they are getting flanked by the German sections on their right. And obviously they're getting a hell of a lot of fire coming down from their front, from that MG42 and the rifle section behind the fence. So that is it. Batovo's taken. and the Russians will run away. So much for fighting to the last man.
Okay, casualties. Fourth morale for the Germans at the end was 11. They had 8 casualties, 2 of which will return immediately, 2 return the next day, but there isn't a next day in this campaign, and 4 are killed, so actually quite a heavy hit. And it's all very well saying the Soviet platoon would fight to the last man, but they do have another scenario to go through before they get there, so I couldn't do that. Force morale was 5 at the end, 4 casualties, including 1 junior leader, and 1 junior leader was wounded as well. So they get 1 of those casualties back immediately. We move on to Escape to Victory, the road to Chekaskoye. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did, and hope to see you tomorrow.